Hi everyone, welcome to the June 3rd Tech Talk on the new geographical maps which are now integrated with the Google Maps. I'm Alex Bruscato, and along with me is my colleague Larry Balloon. We are both Entuity Solutions Architects. Today, Larry and I will present the key areas for you to maximize your use of the enhanced geographical maps found in Entuity Network Analytics version 18. A few housekeeping items before we get into today's content. So first of all, the call is on mute mode to eliminate any outside noise. Feel free to ask questions at any time via the chat panel. We will have time at the end to take questions that have been posted. As usual, we are using the latest version of the Entuity Network Analytics, ENA version 18, for our demonstration purpose. All of the features we are discussing today are found in ENA 18. So let's get started. We know that instant identification and visibility of incidents and their severity across the network is essential to any business, regardless of their size and geographical spread. You need to see where there are problems, how serious they are, and what those problems might be affecting. ENA version 18 introduces geographical map mode to give you a global perspective of your network, based on views and their hierarchies that harness the full data potential of ENA's wider offering. With ENA version 18, you can reflect the actual geographical organization of your network and instantly see health information for each view. Assign geographical locations to views so that they can be automatically plotted to the map. Use the addition, discovery, and removal of devices, and links is automatically updated in the map, so you don't have to worry about manual management. Maps display any subviews within the select view to give you opportunity to further drill down investigation. You also can specify if you want to display all, some, or none of the links between views based on connected devices. These links are colored by link status or utilization to tell you the strength, health, and performance of your network connections. ENA's map dashlet allows you to view maps in either topological or geographical map mode. The geographical mode is based on ENA's integration with the Google Maps API. This allows you to see the geographical distribution of the subviews within a select view against a geographical map provided by Google Maps. So note that geographical map is not enabled by default in ENA. So we will need to set up a Google Maps platform account, gain a Google Maps API key, and then save it in ENA. Let's take a look how can we do this process. First of all, you must log on the Google Maps platform and then select the relevant APIs. Navigate to the Google Maps platform page, click on Get Started. This will open the Enable Google Maps platform dialog. Tick the Maps and Place boxes and then click Continue. Next step will be create a new map project in the Select or Create Project field. We need to click on Create a New Project and then enter the name for the new project and click Next. You must associate a bill account. So you must have a credit card, a valid credit card to do so. And then click Create Billing Account and enter the billing account details. And please note, Google provides free credits each month that allows up to 28,000 page loads per month. After this threshold, the approximate cost will be $7 for every 1,000 page loads. Please see the daily limit session for help on setting page load limits. Finally, you must enable the Google Maps API by clicking Next. And please note the API key can take up to 8 minutes to activate, so it might not be immediately available. And then you must navigate to ENA. So in ENA, click on Main Menu, then in Administration, and on the Administration page, click on Geographical Map. This will open the Geographical Map page, and then click on API Key Settings in the top right of the page. This will open the API Key Settings form. Turn on the Enable Geographical Map switch, and then paste the API key into the API key field. That's done. Simple like that. For security purposes, you can restrict the API key to the specific website URLs, so the risk can only be used with a particular server. Us from Entuity used to advise as a best practice, we do recommend to implement this step. Okay, that's it. So that's the time to move the ball to Larry. Larry, the demo is yours.
Thank you, Alex. Good morning. My name is Larry Balon. I'm a solution architect based here in the United States. Before I share on my screen, I'm just going to summarize what I'm going to demo this morning. I'm going to create some views with location data to show you how that's done. And then we'll spend some time demoing some of the customizations of the GeoMap to provide additional information that may be specific to your environment. I'll show you how to customize that, which will include pulsing the markers as well as demonstrating marker color control. And the last thing I'm going to demo is a small enhancement that we added to our standard topology maps, which is the ability to add attribute labels to the maps and tooltips. So I'll share out my screen. And what you'll see here is a geographical map that's already been populated. These round circles we call markers, and they will be color-coded depending on how many objects within that marker location have incidents associated with them. Hovering over the marker will provide some additional information. The way that the location data is configured, you can start with a top-level view, which we have here in the UK, and then you can create multiple sub-views, and I'll drill down into the UK because this has already been built. This will focus on the UK. There are also controls, cluster markers on the map, so if there are a large number of views in a small area on the map, rather than populating that, we'll combine those into a single marker with a view number. I'll continue to drill down here, and these all represent subviews. And then when I get down into London, we're actually at the street level. And if I hover over this, you can see the location information. So go back up to the My Network view, and we'll create some views. I'm going to use Brazil as an example today. So I'm going to create a top-level view. I'm going to call this view Brazil, which will be the country view, and then I'm going to create a couple of sub-views beneath that. I'm going to leave this as manually populated, and then you'll see here there's a field named location. If you do not have the GeoMap key enabled, this field will not show when you create a view. But I'm just going to start typing the name. The way that this works is that when you start typing into the location search field, the Google Maps API is going to basically provide you with the top 5 hits. In this case, I'm going to use Brazil. I'll create this, and that view is now created. And I'm going to create a couple of sub-views. So we'll create one for Sao Paulo. And I'm going to, you also can populate the views automatically. I'm going to take a view that's already been created, a content filter that's already been created, and auto-populate these views. And then I'm going to come down into the location data here, and I'll start typing in. And you'll see here, Sao Paulo comes up to the top of the list. I'll create that view, and then I'll create one more view. We'll go to Rio de Janeiro. And again, I'm going to auto-populate the view. And I'll use a predefined content filter so that it will populate with devices. And then I'll come down to the location. you notice that the location will always be the view above. So this happens to be Brazil, and I'll just type in Rio de Janeiro, and we've created that. Now when I go back to the map, I'll go back to the main My Network view and select the map, and you'll see that the Brazil view is populated. And if I drill down, you'll see the two locations I created, Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. I'll go back up one level. So one of the things that this is the out-of-the-box GeoMap, and one of the things that you cannot do with this is customize it. So I'm going to go over the customizations. We'll talk about pulsing first, and then marker color control. I'm going to use a separate system to demo some of this, but here I'm going to go into the dashboard editor. So go into the configuration of the dashboard. I'm basically going to clone the out-of-the-box map. You can see here there's a lock icon on it, so any of the out-of-the-box dashboards cannot be modified. But if I double-click it, it'll ask me if I want to create a duplicate, so I'll clone that, and then I'll come in and start editing this. So I'm going to assign a name to this first. And I'll call that GeoMap with pulsing markers, and then I'll basically set my access controls so that everybody has access to this dashboard. Once I'm done, I can come in, and now I can start modifying the settings. So I'll come here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the links off so that I only have the markers in there. And then down here, I've got a couple of different settings. The one that I'm going to show right now is the marker pulsing settings. So what this is designed to do, it's designed to attract the operator's attention by pulsing the marker. And this settings tab allows you to customize when the markers pulse. So there's a selection to pulse on incident type. So you can have one or more incidents here that cause the marker to pulse, and then you can also pulse on severity. So I'm going to have these pulse on severe and critical. I'll click done, click done again, and I'll save this, and then this allows me to preview that. And again, you can see here I've got these markers pulsing because there are both severe and critical, severity 4 and 5 incidents located in there. If I drill down into Brazil, again, I've got some markers here that are pulsing. Again, they meet the criteria of the filter, which is there has to be at least severity 4 or above, which is the way I have those filters set up. And you can do the same thing for incident types. So I'm just going to exit out of the preview. The next thing I'm going to show is how to do marker control. And I'm going to switch over to my lab system. You'll see here that this is basically some views that are located in the United States. They're in various states of incident severities. And what I'm going to do here is I've got a dashboard that I've already done the initial configuration for, and that's this one here with GeoMap with marker control. So I'll come into the settings, and this works on an exception basis. So the marker control settings, the default is going to be every marker is going to be green, and then you have exclusions. So here I can exclude specific incident types, and if I put them in an exclusion list, that means turn the marker to a color that is related to this severity of whatever incident I select in this list. And I also have the ability to do this by severity level. I'm going to leave this in its default state, which is no selection for incident types and no selection for severity. And when I preview this, and I'll drill down into the United States here, you'll see that even though there are incidents associated with these markers, everything is green. So I'll exit the preview, and in the settings, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my marker severity to severe. So anything with a severe event is going to be color-coded. So when I go back to the marker control in the United States, you'll see that I've got, these are green because the events in here do not meet the criteria of the severity level, but the Dallas location does. And if I hover over this, the way that this works, even though I've checked off severe, and that would be an orange colored marker, it's going to display the marker in the color of the highest severity. So in this case, even though I have 37 severity 4 incidents within this location, because there are 8 at severity 5, I'm going to turn them. It's going to turn the marker red. So the last thing I'm going to demonstrate is the enhancements we've made to the topology mapping. So what we've done is we've added the ability to add attribute labels to the topology map. So I'll come in here. I'll just preview this before I start doing anything here. We'll come into here. So you'll basically see a view of a subnet, and this is the standard attribute marking we use on the topology map, which is the device's polled name or polled IP address. I'll exit the preview and then go into the settings. So when I come into the settings, you'll see that there's a new selection here for topological map labels. I don't have any attributes selected here, so I'm going to click here so I can add labels. There are the most common attribute labels are in the pull-down list, but there's a show more here that expands the list to just about any attribute we can collect. So I'm going to stay with the standard ones, and I'm going to add the manufacturer. I'll add the model. I'll add the object status, the version, and the serial number, and then I'll also add the location. So I have my list of attributes. So it's actually a two-step process. So if I stop here, I've added the attributes, I save them. If I go to the preview here for this subnet, you'll see basically nothing's changed. All I see is the attribute for the standard attribute. I'll come back, go into the settings. So what you have to do is actually, there's a second step here. These can be added to both the object and the topology map icons. So there are restrictions. So when you're placing adding attribute labels to the topology map icons, you're limited to a maximum of 3. And for the tooltips, you're limited to a maximum of 10 attributes. So for the topology map, I'm going to add the manufacturer, and I'll add that to the tooltip as well. I'll add the model. And I'll add the serial number. Now, once I go into something, a different attribute here, you'll see now there's a message underneath here that only 3 map labels are allowed. I wanted to put this on the map, then I have to remove something else to enable this one. So this one I'll just enable on the tooltip. The same with the version. And then finally the location information I'll just show on the tooltip. So now I'll just save my changes. And again, I'll preview this. And I'll just pull one of these out. So you can see here the pulled device name is there. We have manufacturer, model, and serial number information now on the topology map. And if I hover over any of these objects, the tooltip will give me all the attributes that I've configured. And with that, I'm going to stop here and pass it back to Alex.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Larry. So, very impressive. I must confess that, I learned a lot today. So I do appreciate maybe, the things like labels that, really good and new for me. Thanks for that. But, Pat, have any questions been posted to the chat panel so far?
Yes, Alex, we have a couple. First one is, my network has hundreds of locations. Is there a way to populate views in a bulk way without having to go through the UI?
I'll answer that, Pat and Alex. Yes, there is. We've got a couple of large customers that needed a significant amount of views with geolocation data. So we've developed a script that allows you to basically leverage the API, the REST API, to add views with location data. It takes a seed file in a specific format. It would be what view name do you want created. Optionally, you can populate it with a device or devices, and then also the location data. And it takes that, and it will create the views automatically.
Okay, thanks, Larry. The next question is, Topo maps show links between devices. I noticed on the demonstration, the GeoMaps did not. Is there a way to display the links?
Yes, there is. So I'll just share out my screen real quick here. By default, they're not shown. This is the default map. So I can turn the link selection on here. I'll just turn them all on, and you'll see the links appear on the map. The default is to have all links shut off. So the next time if I browse away from this particular page and come back, it's going to default back to its default setting, which is links none. You can customize the dashboard configuration. So if I come here with the one with the pulsing markers, I can set the default behavior to show all the links. And that will set it to allow for the display of the links anytime you come to that map.
All right, thanks, Larry. And that's it on the questions, Alex.
Okay, good stuff. So let's move forward. So keep in mind that there are various resources available for your use, starting with the DNA Help Center, which houses video tutorials, tech talk recording, documentation, much more. The recording of the session will be sent out to you as soon as it is posted online. Should you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact your Entuity account manager. Our tech talk is scheduled for, the next one actually, is scheduled for June the 24th. The subject will be maintenance window management. To wrap up things up, please remember, we are here to help you maximize Entuity network analytics. So reach out to your Entuity account manager or Entuity solution architect team, like me and Larry, for any questions you may have. Thank you so much for your time today, and please stay safe. Have a good rest of the week. Thank you.